Hello and thank you for joining me today. My program is Let's Talk with Bonnie Z. You know that I've been doing a number of programs on the different scams, SCAMS, that are happening in Leisure World and other places. I'm very proud to announce that I have with me today Jim Breen. Jim writes the scam column for Leisure World. Welcome and thank you for joining me
Well,
today.
thank you for having me.
We're going to get right down to it.
Okay.
Tell me what is going on in our community / in the world.
Well, I've been writing these weekly scam columns called Watch Your Step on page 2 of the paper each week, and we have been it's probably the biggest ongoing problem we have here in Leisure World is the scams that just can consistently come into me from on telephone. People stop by to tell me all about these scams. And when I first started doing this 16 years ago, there was only 1 or 2 scams. You know, one was the Nigerian scam where somebody calls up and said my husband was murdered in Nigeria and I have $1 million that was left to me and I want you to help me invest it in the United States. And that went away, but it was replaced by a myriad of other scams that just continue on a daily basis. You know, I average about maybe 4 or 5 calls a week, but all that went out the window 2 years ago when this IRS scam started. I actually received 37 calls in just 5 hours that day. I was on the phone constantly because of the IRS scam where someone calls and very rudely tells people that they're behind in their income tax or their past, that they owe money from the past. And if they don't call this number right away, then they're going to be subject to arrest and, you know, all kinds of problems. So that just has continued and it continues on today, but it really hit a peak back in 2015 when I got that many calls. 37 calls in 4 hours is unbelievable.
Wow, that's amazing.
Especially since I average only 3 or 4 a week. So there's that scam that's kind of quieted down now, but there's always some new scam that comes in that we hear about all the time, and one of them is the student loan forgiveness scam.
Oh, I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of calls from residents who've been contacted, and I myself have been contacted, saying if you want to have your college loan forgiven, press the 1 button. If you don't ever want to hear from us again, then press the 2 button. Well, we found out from the past that if you push the 1 button, that gives the caller access to your telephone number, and he or she can make calls all over the world, and it's charged back to your phone. And you have to go through a lot of red tape in order to get those charges eliminated from your phone bill. So that's been a problem, and the thing is that you kind of wonder why they would be calling senior citizens. Our average age here is 77, and a lot of folks here didn't even have student loan programs back when they were going to college over 50 years ago. So I think they're mistakenly targeting seniors that they really shouldn't be reaching because no one has a student loan.
Right.
And
Now they're worried about maybe it's their grandchildren that they're calling about as far as the loan.
yeah, that could be, but I think really they're just targeting the people that they call, unfortunately. I have a master list of phone numbers, and they just call senior citizens from all over the country, and they hone in on Leisure World because we're one of the larger retirement communities, certainly in California. And so it's really been a problem, and the best way I think for people to avoid that is, like I did, is just hang up on them. I mean, people ask me all the time, how do you avoid becoming a victim? And the best thing to do is to, if you get an email, delete it. If you get a phone call and you don't recognize the area code, you know, and it's not your kids in Florida or Texas or wherever, then just don't even bother answering the phone. You know, if it's postal mail that says, you know, you've won the lottery, that's another scam. Then just delete that and throw your mail away and hang up on people. And it's pretty simple, just avoid. But people think that maybe they're going to win some money or get some money somehow. So they will call that number or press the attachment, which can lead to malware, which is people that deliberately infect your computer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the scams that's popped up recently, and there's other ones. The ongoing grandma scam, I don't know if you've heard about
Right,
that.
we've talked about that in the past.
Yeah, they'll call and say, "Hi, Grandma," and she'll say, "Oh, hi, is this my grandson, Jerry?" And of course, that gives him carte blanche to go continue the scam by saying, "Yeah, of course it's Jerry." And you know, he was in trouble, got arrested, needs to be bailed out, and needs $400 or $500 right away. And so, of course, the best way to get around that is to ask the caller a personal question that only their real grandson or granddaughter would be able to answer. So where did you go to high school? What's your mom's first name? And 10 times out of 10, click, they hang up.
Right, somebody was saying, what is my name?
Exactly, that's right. What's my real name?
Yeah.
If this is your grandma, what's my real name? You know. And so there's also the lottery scams, whereby you'll get a letter in the mail saying that you won the lottery, you know, and to collect your $4 million, all you need to do is send us a check for $250 to cover the taxes. But the funny thing is about lotteries is that if you haven't bought a ticket to a lottery,
Right.
or someone hasn't bought a ticket in your name, like a daughter, a family member, then you can't possibly win the lottery. So you just rip those things right up, those letters that come saying you won the lottery, and just forget about
I
it.
have a question.
Yes.
Have we had any trouble, and I know that maybe you cannot answer this for many reasons, have we had any trouble with the contractors? Have you gotten phone calls on that?
Not really, no.
A general kind of question.
No, we haven't. And ordinarily, we don't like to get involved in two-party scams, you know, or two-party incidents whereby a lady called me 4 or 5 years ago and said, "I went to the gas station down the street and they charged me double for my tires. Could you check it out?" And we really can't, because we're not a referee or an arbiter, and then we have to identify. We have to interview him and find out what his side of the story is. And we can't get involved in that. Basically, this is just scams where somebody calls up and says, "You won this," or "You won that," or, you know, that kind of scam. And another interesting scam that we've heard about in the past, particularly during the Christmas holiday season, is what they call the rear window scam. And that's where usually they target ladies who have been shopping and come out of the department store to the parking lot to get into their car and put their packages in the car. Well, when they walk to their car, they don't realize that someone has taped a big white sheet of paper on the back of the window. And ladies will usually put their things in the car and then get in the car and start it up and look in their rear view mirror and say, "Well, what is that big white sheet of paper there?" And so what they do is they get out to take it off, and there's a thief crouched nearby who, as soon as she gets out of the car, he jumps in and drives the car away with her car,
Oh, Lordy. Here's
with
a new
her
one.
purse, and with all the gifts in the back.
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you're listening. Again, turn the TV up a little bit louder. That one I haven't heard.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often, and when it does happen, it's normally, you know, at Christmas season when the ladies are busy shopping. And there's also something that they call the Netsky worm scam, where you might, you know, say your name's Betty Jones, and you have a long list of people that you ordinarily send emails to. Well, this Netsky worm, which was created by a German teenager back in 2007, they will go into your computer and hack your computer and send an email to everyone on your list saying that you're Betty and that you had gotten a little bit of trouble. You'd like to have a quick $300 that you'll pay back. And then, you know, it just surprises everybody, and you have all these people calling Betty to say, "What kind of trouble are you in? Was that you?" And then she has to spend time sending a message to everyone on the list saying, just, you know, disregard that because it's just a scam. You know? So that's one of the many other scams, and basically, you just have to check these things out. Like somebody might get a letter from ABC company saying, you just won a lot of money, and you need to contact us right away. Well, if you Google the name of that company to see if it's a real company or not, then you'll sometimes get a long list of emails from people saying, oh, I was scammed like this, and I was scammed like that, and people from all over the country will say, and then it's not, it's not a legitimate company. And that's called really a phishing scam, spelled PHISHING, where someone will use the name of a large company, it could be the Coca-Cola company or somebody, and you'll get a letter with their logo, which is easily taken from their website and slid over onto a plain document, and it looks like you're getting a letter from Coca-Cola company, but you're really not. You're getting somebody who's imitating them basically and saying, send me some money, or you're past in your payments or something like that. So
It's really scary.
it really is, and people just have to be really careful and check things out and find out what's going on, if these are really accurate companies or they're just getting scammed. A new one that we just found out about a couple of days ago is there's a lot of people out there that take advantage of natural disasters to get money and pretend that they are collecting money in behalf of the Red Cross or some other company or some other organization that is collecting money for the disaster victims. And the one real good organization to contribute to, of course, is the Red Cross, which is www.redcross.org, and they'll tell you exactly how to donate. And there's a lot of also fake charities out there that'll,
Right, I've seen that.
That'll say, I'm from the some company that is looking for money, and we'll donate it to children who are starving children. They'll try to get to your heartstrings.
It is very frightening. What I would like, I'm going to give out my email, and then I'd like to give your email as well, and we will put it on the video.
Good.
And if you feel that this is helpful, what I've been doing with the scams, SCAMS, please let us know by just contacting Jim actually directly would be wonderful. And we will actually put it on we'll actually put it directly onto the video itself.
Oh, that's a good idea. On the bottom of my column every week, I have an italicized paragraph that says, if you think you've been scammed, contact me at my email address.
That would be wonderful. And then Jim can get the information back to me. Again, even if you've been scammed, talk to him and let him know. Maybe it's one of the ones we haven't seen.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I
Well,
really
thank you, Bonnie.
appreciate
Thank you so much
you
for
spending
inviting me.
time with
I
me.
appreciate that.
And again, my email is Bonnie, BONNIEZ for Zelda, 562 @yahoo.com. Thank you so much. Bye.